Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Money Talks with Attorney Coral. I am Attorney Coral Pleas, the host of this show, and we are sponsored each and every week by Columbia Savings and Loan Association. We're so proud of that today that I wore it on my shirt. And I've got my right hand woman from the bank with me this morning, Ms. LATOYA SYKES, and she also is wearing her Columbia Savings and Loan Association shirt. So, yeah, so thanks, LATOYA. Thank you for coming to the show
Hello,
today.
everybody.
Yeah. So we talk about everything that's money related with this show. And last week, I was fortunate to have Gulbaz Gill on the show with me, and he's been here a few times. Audience might be familiar with him because he works with our lending team. But Latoya's role is different. Her role is to help me oversee the operations, and anytime I'm not there, she's in charge.
Yes, I'm definitely in charge, and I love my job. I love my role. It's a great opportunity, and I love being a part of the Columbia Savings and Loan Association.
Yeah, so we have such fantastic people that work with us that I want to take the time today just so the community can get to know who you are, because it's going to also help the community to understand who Columbia is.
Mhm.
Even though Columbia has been around 100 years, we are really reintroducing the bank right now with a whole new team of people that are running the operations. And I'm really excited that you are a part of it. So thank you again for coming.
Oh, no problem. I'm happy to be a part of it. Like, we help so many people in the community, so it's an honor.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
absolutely, absolutely it is. So I would like to start by just talking about you a little bit and your background, and how you came to work in the banking industry. Talk a little bit about just historically, generally, what you've done that brought you into the banking realm.
Well, I started off in collections, and some of the most difficult times. I was young. I was in my 20s. Started off with medical collections. I did that for like a little bit over 10 years. So that's like, I think that kind of engraved in me a spirit of working with people, customer service, because you're dealing with people that are sick, you're dealing with people that got problems. It was not an easy job, and then unfortunately, with that position, it was just kind of stagnant. So I ended up finding my way over to Wells Fargo,
Mm-hmm.
and I was with Wells Fargo for many years. And I started at Wells Fargo in, I think, 2008, right when the market kind of went crash. So I started in collections with Wells Fargo, and then I went into the loan modification work, because everybody was trying to do a loan modification. Everybody was trying to get help, trying to figure out how they were going to save their loans. So, that led to me working in short selling foreclosure, again, collections, just trying to help people save their home, and kind of also just counseling people, that it was okay if you were losing your home to make a fresh start. Sometimes you need to just have somebody tell you the truth, like, and you start fresh. It's not going to be a worry
Mm-hmm.
anymore. It's not going to be a problem. And then just after that, I've had over like 20 something years in customer service, sales experience. I had a territory in Chicago. So just a lot with customer service. And then I think I've been so successful at it because I care about people. I want them to have a good experience where when they're dealing with me or my staff or our people. And I just try to treat people like I want to be treated. I try to treat people like I would want to be treated. I picture myself if I was talking to this person or interacting with this person. And I think that's why I've been successful. I think that comes across. So,
And I was going to say, you know what? That's interesting that you say that, because that's one of the observations that I've made of you. I've had the opportunity to overhear you interact with customers. I've had the opportunity to be a part of the discussions when you interact with customers, and I'm happy to say, for one thing, people like you. First of all, let's start with that. People like you, and I think that it's because of the sincerity. I think that it's because you really do care, about what's going on, because the most of the time when we have the opportunity to work with or interact with customers, there's some need that they have.
yeah.
If a person has already come in and done their loan and they just make their payments every month, sometimes we don't even get to know those customers. But it's when people have an issue that, hey, wait a second, I have a question about my balance, or I have a question about my escrow, or I have a question or some sort of an issue, or hey, maybe I'm behind a little bit and I need help. When we're interacting with people, it's because there's some sort of issue or some sort of challenge. And I see how you interact with people people when they come in with questions or challenges or whatever the case may be. And sometimes they can be a little bit heated. You know,
Yes.
people get upset and it's understandable. You know, sometimes that people get upset about things, but you know how to calm people. And I believe that they sense your sincerity and then they trust you,
Mhm.
and then you keep your word because you follow through on whatever it is you said you were going to do and you make sure that it gets done.
Yeah, because I want them to have that trust. Because I think in a lot of situations, like if you put yourself in a situation where you've had issues or trouble, it's been because somebody didn't keep their word or somebody told you the wrong information. And my motto is like, if I don't know, I'm going to tell you I don't know, but I'm going to find out. I'm going to get back to you. I'm going to get it handled to the best of my ability. And sometimes it may not even be the answer you want to hear. But a lot of times people just want an answer and they want a truthful answer. So it's just recognizing that. And like to me, I don't care if you have $1 million or if you have $10 in your account, you're going to get the same treatment. You're going to get the same type of customer service as you would, with anybody else. So I just try to be mindful of that. Like I said, I put myself in their shoes
Mm-hmm.
because you never know what somebody's going through. You never know, behind the wall what's happening. So you always just want to get a person that respect, even if they're angry. Like sometimes they have a right to be angry,
Right.
so and you have to understand that. And a lot of times they want to just be heard, like hear my problem, offer me a possible solution, and get back to me. Like, and like at least, like, again, sometimes you can't give them the answer that they want, but the fact that you tried to help and figure it out
Right.
will kind of bring everything, like you get that respect back.
Right. And getting back to people.
Yeah.
You just said it. And it isn't always the answer that they might want to hear, because there are some times that people reach out to us and they say, you know, I may want to, you know, have a loan, and maybe it's a loan that we're not able to do.
Mhm.
But it's still important that if it's not something that works within the context of what we're able to offer, that we still make that effort and communicate with people, because that at the end of the day, that's what needs to happen.
Exactly. Exactly. Like I said, to me, it's a respect thing. I will respect somebody more that says, I can't help you, but I tried to help you, versus somebody that just avoids me or just gives me an answer and blows me off.
Mm-hmm.
And you're never going to get that with me. Like going for your not, that's not what I want Columbia to stand for. I want Columbia to stand for great customer service going forward. And that's that right now. That's like the main goal for
Mm-hmm.
me.
And I love that. And that's part of the reason why, you know, as I mentioned, that we had another person from our team on last week, and now you are here this week.
Mhm.
And because I do want the community to know who the people are with Columbia.
Yep.
So I'm grateful that you talked about your background. And of course, you know, obviously I've seen your resume before, and I've seen you in action. So I know that you've got the experience, and you know that the resume, if anything, doesn't do you justice with what you actually bring, even though it's a fantastic resume, don't get me wrong. But you know, it doesn't do you justice in terms of what you actually bring to the table when you spring into action. And I love how you operate, because you will take on tasks no matter how big or how small. How important is that, Latoya? Let's talk about that a little bit, because one of the things that I like most about you is how you jump in and you will do whatever needs to be done. And you won't just say, look, I'm experienced, I've got 20 years in the game, so I'm only going to do this right here. No, you were trying to tell me when we were leaving, oh, I'm going to need to come upstairs and sweep where these plants dropped. And I said, nope, nope, we're going to get somebody else to do that, you know,
Right.
because we have the people to do it.
Right.
But your willingness to jump in and do what it takes to get the job done, what helped you develop that type of attitude about how you work?
Uh, Mainly I get my work ethic, I think, from my dad, because he worked two jobs like pretty much our whole life to take care of us.
Mm-hmm.
He was a Marine. He was an upstanding guy, and he just taught me, to he. That's where I get my personality from, like most of it.
Well, see, that says a lot. Now, don't gloss over that. He
Mhm.
was a Marine.
Yes.
I want to make sure everybody heard what you said,
Mhm.
because you're a little bit soft spoken, and I mean, I'll sit here and shout, but I don't want to. I want to
Yeah.
make sure nobody
Yeah.
missed that.
Yeah. My dad
So,
was a Marine, and he was a Marine back in the 1950s. He was one of only three blacks in his unit. He was a sharpshooter. So if you think about just being, a young black man during those times, in a unit of all white men except for you and two others, and he, it just gave him a work ethic that was just unbeatable, and he worked up until he was like 82 or 83 years old. And it was crazy because once he stopped working, that's when he just started kind of deteriorating. Like, work kept
Mhm.
him youthful, work kept him alive. So I take that work ethic. Not only that, but it's just one thing I want to say is just that you and Ernie Jones, you guys worked so hard, and it didn't take me long to see how hard you guys were working to make sure this bank stays a community staple and stays being an entity that can continue to help our community and everyone, even outside of our community. But you guys worked so hard and you guys took on so much and have so much on your plate. So when I came in and I saw that, like, I want to help. Like, what can I do? I rather come and help you with something and take something off your plate than sit at my desk and twiddle my thumbs for 20 minutes if I can do it. So even if it's just sweeping or something to keep me busy, whatever is helping the bank, I want this bank to be successful. It's needed in the community. They help so many people. Like, and I wish I would have knew about this bank sooner. I wish my
Mhm.
parents would have knew about this bank when we were growing up. There's so many people that don't know what you guys do
Mhm.
for us in the community.
Mhm.
Um, so just that worth ethic is just me wanting to do what I can to make sure that this bank is around for another 100 years.
So let me ask you about that a little bit. So because you've been in different experiences, different banking experiences, I'm not putting any particular, bank on the line when I make that reference, but just knowing that there's larger banks and maybe that was where your parents' mortgage may have been, and because you made mention of that, I'm bringing that up, or other people that you may have known. What would you say is the difference between people that have had experiences with larger banks versus a community bank like Columbia? Have you observed anything that Columbia does differently, just in terms of maybe extending itself to try to help the customers?
Oh, definitely, definitely. It's just the fact that a big bank is going to work systematically. They're going to be by the book. Your account number, you have 90 days, you might have 15 days, you're getting, notices, you're getting this, you're getting that. You can come in and sit with us, you can come in and talk with us at any time if you're having a problem. We're going to try to help you. You're not just a number. And that's what people don't understand. That's so important about the bank. You're not just a number with the bank. We're going to try to help you. We want to see you succeed. We want to see you stay in your home even though you're having problems. We want to see you stay in your home even if you lost your job. We want to see you continue to grow your savings and maybe go to a CD and build. We want to see your business be successful. So whether it's 15 days or 90 days, we're not going to give up on you. Just come into the bank, have a conversation with us, and we're going to try. Can we help everybody? No. But we're going to try our best to help keep you where you need to be. And that's one of the main things I notice about the bank. I've never seen any other banking entity that I've been a part of or even not a part of, just things I'm affiliated with personally, work with the customers to help them like Columbia Savings and Loan has.
Hmm.
So that's a big difference.
So yeah, and I appreciate you sharing that, because I do think that that's a big difference as well. With respect to Colombia, and yeah, I've had experiences with the larger banks, and they don't do that. It's like you said, it's a system, and they plug you in, and they don't know your name. That mortgage payment better be on time
Yep.
or else.
Yep.
And there are no exceptions to that. You hit a certain days of delinquency, you're going to foreclosure. There's no discussion, there's no conversation in a lot of instances. But with Columbia, of course, we encourage people to pay on time. It's to your advantage to do so,
Mm-hmm.
so that there is no late fees that accumulate, so that there is no negative consequence on your credit report. So obviously, there is incentive to pay on time, and we definitely do encourage people to pay on time. I don't want to,
Exactly.
I don't want to, I don't want to forget to say that.
Exactly.
But if you run into trouble, if you run into an unusual circumstance, and you need someone to listen and maybe take into account what your personal situation is, you have an opportunity to be heard with our community bank that you won't get that same opportunity in other
Right.
places. So I think that's really what we're saying.
And then there's a lot of older people that just, or even not just older, but people that they don't know what options they have. They don't know and they can come in and talk. That's when they can come in and talk to us and get some, information, some more education on how to help them out, or how to better their finances, or how to, what do I need to do? How can I get to this point? They can come in and talk to our loan officer, Go Boss Gill. He's very knowledgeable. He's very helpful. So they can come in and get information. They can call and make an appointment to come down to the bank, and we'll accommodate that, and we'll talk to, like, let's talk. What are you trying to do? Let's talk and figure it out.
Sure. And thanks to you, we recently had a presence at Juneteenth
Yes.
too.
One day
So
notice.
yeah, yeah. And you pulled a rabbit or two out of your hat in terms of putting everything together. And I would have thought that weeks of planning went into what you pulled off in just a day or so. So, you did a lot. And so we had a campaign, if you will, I'm going to call it that, of asking people to come and sign up for a savings account with the bank. And we were at that time donating a free T-shirt to anyone who
Yeah.
signed up.
And
And
a pen. Come
oh,
on,
and
that
a
saves a
pen,
loan pen.
and a
Can't
pen.
forget
I forgot
that.
about the
That's so
pen.
expensive.
I
No.
forgot about the pens. No, those are some nice Columbia
Mm-hmm.
pens. So, so thank you to everyone that came out in support of that and had an opportunity to sign up for an account with us. And hopefully they're enjoying their Columbia shirts
Yeah, and ink pens.
and their pen. Why do I keep forgetting the pen?
Yeah,
Yeah.
but it was great to see a lot of the community. They would come up and ask questions about the bank,
Mm-hmm.
and they heard about it, and a lot of them have heard about it just from your show,
Mm.
being on WNOV, this platform, another platform that gives us voices. So that was just much appreciated. It was appreciated to see the people, how they, were happy and wanted to know more about the bank. And we welcome that. Like I said, we welcome if you got questions about opening an account, or a CD, or IRA, whatever it is, you can come in and call us, talk to us. Our tellers, they're really knowledgeable. We got like a great new staff, and everybody's just so excited to be there and just be a part of making Colombian Savings Alone great. So,
Yeah. So why don't you take a minute now? Let's just give a shout out to the staff that's there. Can you?
there's Jamila. She's really great with the customers. Pretty much knows everybody by name. There's Olivia. She's also great, and she's also a full time student as well as working at the bank. And then we have Yumika. She's a very knowledgeable staff member as well. She has a lot of years in banking. So right now we just have a really good team that's put together back
Mm-hmm.
there, and just trying to again focus on making us great.
Mm-hmm. And so there's a lot of women, but and we both have already mentioned Golbaz, you mentioned Ernie, and I'm going to come back after the break, and we're going to talk a little bit more about credentials and other people involved with the board. But I also want to just add Miles too. Miles Ward is
Miles,
there, and
exactly.
he's another one who is a full time student
Full-time
at
student.
Marquette University, majoring in finance. So just got just the right background to come and step up and be a part of this bank and help us to, just to continue to thrive and to grow. So we're lucky to have the team that we have, and we just appreciate everyone. So it looks like we're teeing up for a break. When we come back, give us a call and join the conversations. Ask us some questions about Columbia, because we are standing on Columbia business today.
Exactly.
The number here is 414-444-5250. We'll see you after the break. Staying with us, rejoining us, I should say. This is Money Talks with Attorney Coral, and I am Attorney Coral Pleas. I am the General Counsel at Columbia Savings and Loan Association, and I have been for just about 2 years now that I've been working with and on behalf of the bank. And I am so fortunate to have in the studio with me this morning Ms. LATOYA Sykes, who is my right hand person here at the bank on the day to day, thick and thin, in and out of all that we do.
Yeah, we do a
So
lot.
yeah, yeah. So I do want people to know her. I want people to know who she is because she is critical to my daily functions. That's for sure. Because, you know, I would get so bogged down with things, and we work really hard and want to provide the very best service that we can provide to people. But there's no one person that can do it all on the
Oh,
daily day to day functions. I mean, our president needs to be a president of the bank. We can't have him sitting there typing letters and
exactly.
you know doing things. Not that he wouldn't do whatever it takes, but in order for any organization to thrive and to prosper, you've got to have the right people doing the right tasks. So I just want to go on record publicly and just say how much I appreciate you, LATOYA, and I thank you for taking for taking. So I'm losing my voice trying to even speak, taking so much off of my desk so that I can function in the role that I need to be functioning in.
I
And I
would do
couldn't do
it. I
that
would do
without
it
you.
when I seen how swamped you were. I just was like, what can I do? What can I do? And that's like how a good team is supposed to work. And I don't just do that with you. Like even with the tellers, like if they're
Hmm.
busy, if they're swamped, I'll go back and what can I do? What can I help with? Even if I can't do everything, I'm a work in progress. I'll learn. Like how can I be there?
Hmm.
And that's like part of what having a good team. And that's what's gonna, as long as we keep that mentality as a team, the bank's already successful. It's going to continue to be successful again, like for another 100 years. So
There we go. I mean, that's our goal. That's our
yeah.
goal. So I did want to take a minute, and because as I said, we're calling this standing on Columbia business. That's how
Yes.
I put it in my notes, and I think that's how I indicated, when I reference which show is which, that's what we're talking about today. So I do want to just wind it back a little because I'd like to make sure that people are being educated by comments that we make on the show, and if there's anyone out there who's listening that would like to call in and add to some of what I'm about to say, please don't be shy. This bank has been around a whole lot longer than you and I have been around,
Yes.
so there are people who know things that we couldn't possibly know.
Right.
So please feel free to call. But every once in a while, I will do a show and we will talk about the history of Columbia Savings and Loan Association. So it was started back in 1924 by Artie and Wilbur Halliard, who started this bank because of the lack of opportunities for banking um, that was available to African American people at that time who wanted to become homeowners. The larger banks and other banks that were in existence at that time, if they didn't want to give a loan to black people just because they were black, it happened. That's how it was. So these two visionaries, there was a young black couple, and they decided, well, you know what? If we can't go and get loans through these traditional banks that are around, let's start our own bank. And I just the magnitude of that decision, even 100 years later, still resonates with me that they even came up with that. But that was their
Exactly.
solution to the problem.
Yep.
They didn't sit there and rock and complain. They didn't sit there and never become homeowners. They not only made a way to become homeowners themselves, they made a way for countless other people to
Countless.
become homeowners. And 100 years later, we're still contending for exactly that premise that
Exactly.
started this bank.
Yep.
Yep. So shout out to them. Um,
Mhm.
but now in this modern time, we are so fortunate to have the leadership of Ernest Jones as the president and CEO and board chair of this bank.
Mhm.
Now, I always call Ernie the reluctant leader because it wasn't something that he wanted. In fact, he joined the board of directors just to be a part of the team to help offer solutions, to the former president to keep the bank going. But when it was time for the former president, and that was Mr. George Gary, to transition out. And we thank him for all his years of service and all that he did for the bank as well. But there was the time for him to transition out, and Ernie was one of the several board members who was instrumental in working hard to find someone to come in and run the bank because he didn't want to do it. That was not the plan. And so Mr. Ray Allen, and I always see Ray Allen, I always think of the Milwaukee Bucks player.
Right.
Like, no, this is right. This is another um, seasoned gentleman who came and was with the bank for a very short period of time. It was only about 4 months, and then his own personal circumstances arose, and then he needed to transition out. So they were scrambling around and they were interviewing people, and everybody's looking at Ernie, and Ernie's looking everywhere else because, again, he's not about titles. He's not about trying to, have the power seat. He's not about trying to be in charge of things. He just wanted to be part of the solution. He didn't want his name to be anywhere in it. But it was just evident who the choice was, who was the right choice to take on the leadership of this bank and be at the helm of this bank to help it, first of all, to make it to the 100-year anniversary, which we did a year ago, right? So that was a huge achievement in and of itself. Because you may know, LaToya, that there were two other Black banks in the city of Milwaukee that, well, North Milwaukee State Bank had over 50 years of service, and they were a larger bank, about $100 million bank. They had a variety of products that were offered at one time, including home mortgages or loans for businesses, churches. They had auto loans, they had checking accounts and savings accounts. They had a variety of products. And so they had more products and they did even more business than Columbia because they were a bigger organization. But unfortunately, North Milwaukee didn't make it, even after 50 plus years in operation. And then, of course, there was also Legacy Bank that was kitty corner to where Columbia is right now.
Exactly.
And I was so proud of Legacy Bank when they launched with the three Black women that were at the helm of Legacy. And it just makes you proud to be able to say that we had that here in Milwaukee.
Exactly.
But banking is tough. Banking is cutthroat.
I don't
Banking,
think people realize how tough it is.
yep, banking is
Behind the
not for the faint of
scenes.
heart.
It's not.
Not at all.
It's a very stressful job.
Right, right. And when you have people who are as smart as those three women were, who started and were at the helm of Legacy, I have the opportunity to have known each of them, one of which has passed away now, the other two not. But I've had the opportunity to personally know all of them, and I can attest to the brilliance of those women and their character and their hard work and everything else. And the same with North Milwaukee and its leadership, because I was outside counsel on behalf of North Milwaukee State Bank for a number of years as well. And the leadership, again, Randy Myricks and some of the people over there, I couldn't say enough good things about. But still, some things have happened, and now those organizations no longer exist. So we are it. We are it in terms of Black banks, not just in the city of Milwaukee, but in the state of Wisconsin. So, and I love how when we were at Juneteenth, you made sure that every person that walked up understood that. Make sure that everybody knows. So that's our plea to the community to say, come and do business with Columbia. Come support the only Black-owned bank in the state of Wisconsin.
Yes.
Come and put some money on deposit in Columbia. And if you've got a child or a grandchild, we're going to have our honorary president speak to that towards the end of the show, because she's in the studio this morning too. We will reveal her at the end of the show. But if you're a parent or you're a grandparent, come and open a savings account for one of your kids or grandkids. It's $50. Am I right with that?
It's $50 deposit.
Okay. Yeah, $50 to open an account with Columbia. But if you are a business person, don't come to us with $50. If you're a business person, or if you're a successful church, or if you're an organization that has been operating for a while, and you're profitable, come and put $250,000 CD in our bank, because you will earn interest on that CD, just as you earn interest on that money if you place it at another
Yes.
institution.
Mhm.
Come and support the Black owned bank. Put your money in Columbia. We are FDIC insured
Insured.
up to $250,000. So you stand nothing to lose. Nothing to lose and only to gain, because if you come, you put your money in, you will gather interest on that money, and it
I mean,
prospers you.
you're investing in yourself, you're investing in your business, but you're also investing in the community. So that's why it's a good thing to come down again. Even if you just have questions before opening an account, come down, call us. We're here to help you out and do whatever you need. But again, this bank needs the support from the community, so we do need people to come in, open accounts with us, savings accounts. The business accounts are very helpful. But again, don't just think about it as an investment in your business. If you're opening a business account, think about it as an investment in the community, with everything that Columbia does.
Right, absolutely. Because one of the goals that I can say about Columbia, we are we consider ourselves. I'm going to try to say it the right way, a mission bank, right? And so, what is the mission? To encourage homeownership in the Black community. So you can't go wrong, in terms of putting money in Columbia, because we're protective of those dollars, right? We make good decisions. We do good underwriting. We want to get the right people with the right loans in the community to stabilize the community. That's
Exactly.
what we're about.
Exactly.
Right. So if you're going to come and deposit money, just as you would in any other institution, and your money is secured and insured just as it is in any other institution, and you will collect interest just as you do at any other institution, then why not come um, and put your money at Columbia Savings and Loan Association?
Exactly. And we have some good interest rates too. So on those things. So
Right,
yeah.
right, right. Yeah, and some of these things are negotiable, depending on what you have or where you are, and
Yeah.
what we try to do, but we do, like for people to be mindful of the fact that, again, we're a mission bank and we're trying to, help the community. So be
Exactly.
mindful of that, but you still will make money on your deposits. So that's
Exactly.
the main thing. We're not asking for anybody to give us anything.
Yeah.
We're saying that you will make money on your deposits if you put your money at Columbia.
And if you're even if you're just not sure, you're in the middle. That's when we say call us, come in, have a conversation with our loan officer on the team, and he can answer any questions you might have. With you coming into the bank, he can focus more on your needs, what your expectations are. He can talk to with you about things like interest rates and things like that. So
Absolutely. And then I would add, I think you may have said this, but if there's anyone who would like to come and open an account, then I would ask that you just maybe give a call first to schedule an appointment to
yes.
do it. That would be the best way, so that way, LaToya or whomever you might meet with for your appointment to come and open the account, that we might be able to gather some preliminary information first to get
Yeah.
started on the paperwork, or let you know what you must bring in, because you've got to bring in a current valid driver's license. So there's got
Yep.
to be, or some other form of
Approved
identification.
ID. Yep. And a
Right,
social security card
right, right,
or
right.
secondary ID.
So you got to be able to have those things as well. But it does look like we have a caller. So I'm going to ask caller, please. Thank you for holding. Please go ahead with your call.
Good
Caller,
morning.
could I ask you to turn your radio off? Because it sounds like there's a lot of feedback. We're not going to be able to hear you clearly.
Yes, ma'am, I did.
Yep. Thank you so much. And then once you
Okay.
do, please just go ahead with your call. I don't know if you're on speakerphone. Oh, yep. If you can take us off speakerphone, because it's like there's a lot of feedback. Yep. So whenever you're ready, when you have us off speakerphone, please just go ahead with your comment or question.
Yes, I did. Hello?
Yes, ma'am. Please go ahead.
Okay. I just wanted to ask, when doing opening a new account, outside of having, you just need your ID, right? Because I wanted to invest in the bank. And then my second question was when it came to a trust, can you put a home in a trust that you haven't finished paying at all?
Okay, so yes, thank you so much for those two questions. So first, yes, you do need to bring in a valid identification card, which is typically a driver's license, preferably with your current address on, but it does have to be a current valid license or state ID card. Um,
Yes.
and then we do ask for a social security card as well,
Yes.
Okay.
so
Okay.
that we can just cross check and just cross reference to verify the identity of anyone who is opening an account with the bank. So yes, we do ask for those two forms of identification if you're able to bring.
Okay. I just thought I didn't know if just your driver's license was enough, but that's what you answered that question.
Yes,
Right,
ma'am. And
right.
then a $50 deposit is all that's required to open your account. We do offer
Okay.
direct deposit as well.
So if you have a large check that you were depositing, how much is usually given back? That has the I know the check has to clear, but how much is usually given back? Is there 1% of it, or
Well,
what? How do you all measure that?
yeah, so it depends on if you have an established account with us, with a typical balance that's in that account, then that's handled differently. But obviously, if you're coming and you're just opening the account, then there will be an immediate hold on the funds for I'm not sure how many
I
days. I
think
know
it's
Boss was working on some policies for us, and he was suggesting up to 7 days, and that.
that's kind of a normal standard
Hmm.
with most
Yeah.
banks.
So if you're a new customer and you come with the larger check there, you wouldn't be able to take funds out right away. We'd have to hold that check just for our own protection. Obviously, you'd understand that for a number of days just to ensure that that check clears. And it can depend upon whether it's a local check or whether it's an out of state check, whether it's a personal check or if it's some sort of government check. We have to
What if
factor
it
all of
was
those
coming
things
from a
in.
title company?
Well, title companies have a little more credibility, obviously, than if it's a check that is from, let's say, a personal check with an individual. But even with title check funds, we do have to put a temporary hold on it just to verify that the check will clear.
Okay.
You had one
All
other
right.
question that I did want to address.
Yes, the
Um,
trust. If
yes,
a home can be put into a trust account if
yes.
the home is not finished off paid for.
And the answer is yes. Yes,
Okay.
ma'am. Yes, ma'am, it can. And if that's
Okay.
something that you might need help with, you
Mhm.
can always call my law office because my paralegals that I work with, we specialize in doing estate planning and creating trust documents for people. So if you
Yeah.
do need help with that, I'd be happy to state the phone number of the law firm where you can call and we can answer questions more in depth with you with respect to that.
Okay, I got it. Thank you.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much for calling.
Thank
Okay.
you.
So the number for the Pleas law firm, that is my law firm where we do specialize in handling estate planning transactions. The number is 414-247-9570. That is 414-247-95, excuse me, 9570. So thank you so much for the caller with the really, really excellent questions. I talk so much I get hoarse. I don't know what that is. Maybe because I wasn't done bragging on Ernie yet. I just
Right,
yeah.
right. And real quickly, like while we were on the, just to give people an idea, we're at 2020 West Fond du Lac Avenue. And if you want to call the bank with any questions, our phone number is 414-374-0486. And you're always welcome to ask for me, LATOYA. I'm usually there every day. Our hours are Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 5, Monday through Thursday, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. And then we are open on Friday, extended hours. So we're open from 9 until 6 for anybody that has to come in after work.
Okay, except for tomorrow because it's
Except for tomorrow,
the
because it's the
holiday,
4th.
the 4th of July. So give those numbers and that address again,
Oh, sure.
Latoya, if you don't mind.
Phone number is the address first and foremost is 2020 West Fond du Lac Avenue. We're right on the corner of Fond du Lac and North. And then the phone number is 414-374-0486.
Thank you so much. So, okay, it looks like we are due for a break. When we come back, I do want to just talk a little bit more about the people who are involved in Colombia. How many of you know that the president of Colombia is an attorney, and has been an attorney in the state of Wisconsin for over 20 years now? And
Yes.
how many of you know that? I'm not sure that you do. So, we're going to talk about his credentials and some of the other board members, and the people that are at the helm of this ship right now, and why we're in such good position. We'll be right back after the break with more Standing on Columbia Business Money Talks with Attorney Coral and LATOYA Sykes. Welcome back. This is Money Talks with Attorney Coral, and I have LATOYA Sykes of Columbia Savings and Loan Association in the studio with me this morning, and we are talking about standing on Columbia business. Isn't that right?
Exactly. Standing on business.
Yeah,
Get
all
it
good things
done.
about Columbia, who we are, what we're doing. And I mentioned before the break that I wasn't done bragging on our president in particular, but I'm going to do a little bragging on our team, including some of the directors. We've talked about the staff and given them shout outs, and you guys know about Gulbaz because he's been here a few times. But I was mentioning before the break that our president and CEO and board chair of the bank is an attorney, and has been in Wisconsin for over 20 years now. He has a master's degree in Latin American studies, a Juris Doctorate degree from the University of Wisconsin Madison. If you don't know what that is, that's a law degree from a top tier school. Bachelor of Arts, University of Chicago, that he completed in 3 years' time with honors. We've got a brilliant, brilliant leader that we're fortunate to be able to work with on a daily basis.
A brilliant mind, and then he has a great sense of humor. Like some days when you just need a laugh, he's gonna give it to you.
Mm-hmm. And as humble as the day is long, with all of these credentials and all of this work history, having been a corporate attorney, having been an attorney with the government, working as deputy chief legal counsel for the state, working as a banking attorney for the state, having been a regulator, which, being a regulator when it comes to the banking industry is rare for Black people. Let's just be
Exactly.
real. And the only two Black males that I know that have been regulators in this state have been two people that we have as part of our team, and that is Ernest Jones and Steve Moore. And I was going to get to more on Steve's credentials in a moment, but I still want to just brag on the fact that Ernie is proficient in French, Portuguese, and Spanish. He's going to kill me because he doesn't like to have the attention. But when somebody is this outstanding and you're fortunate enough to be able to work with that person, I'm sorry, Ernie. I just gotta, put the shine on you here for a minute, put that little glimpse of light on you,
Yeah.
that you've worked so hard
He
and
deserves it.
absolutely,
He works hard. And it's a
absolutely
stressful
deserves
job.
it.
Yes.
So Steve Moore has been a part of our board of directors. Steve has come on the show once for sure. I think Steve has only been on the show once. So we got to get Steve lives in Madison, but he has been on the board of directors for, I want to say, at least 3 years. I know he's been around longer than I have, and he has been a tremendous support with respect to his credentials and being on the board. Again, another person, another Black male that is a former regulator, so he understands the regulations that govern this bank, and he's got a background in compliance, and working with finance, contracts, and consumer credit. He's a former consumer credit examiner. He's a former personal banker, so he's got that hands-on experience.
Yeah.
So we got a team of people who know what they're doing.
Exactly.
And that's what's helping us to be great. That's what's helping us to continue to prosper and move things forward. So I do want to just thank Steve for, first of all, these t-shirts that
Exactly.
yeah, these Columbia t-shirts that we have. And Steve, we need some more colors, so we're going to put you back to the drawing board, for our next batch of t-shirts. But thank you, Steve, for everything that you've done to help this bank prosper and to be where we are today. It's through the support of everyone working together with their collective skills that brings us where we are. So yeah, I just wanted to thank everyone who has been involved and worked so hard on the day to day. And as we said a little bit earlier, banking is cutthroat. It's about that bottom line, that as much as we do to give back to the community, at the end of the day, this is a business.
It is.
The bank is a business. The bank is not a charity. The bank is not a nonprofit. I know sometimes people think that because this is a Black owned bank. Well, please don't think that, because this is a business and it must prosper, as all businesses must prosper if they want to maintain and continue to exist.
Exactly.
So, that's the number one reason why I like to let people know we've got the most qualified team of individuals that this bank has probably ever had, on board right now doing what we do on a daily basis. And so if you invest your money with us, you're making a good investment. And we need those investments so that we can give back to the community and we can continue to be this mission bank that helps ordinary people, like you and I, attain home ownership status, because we offer products that the community needs, and
Exactly.
that's our goal as a mission bank.
Yes, we want to
Yeah.
definitely continue that. We want to definitely make our presence known in the community. We're here. If you have the main thing, a lot of times people don't come because they have questions. If you have questions, call us. Come in. It doesn't matter. Call us. Come in. Set an appointment. Even just walk in. Just come in with your questions, because you'll never know unless you come in. And again, you'll be a part of something great. And again, we plan on being here another 100 years and longer. And now we have our bank president,
Our honorary president.
here.
Yeah. How old are you? Tell everybody.
9.
9 years old. Okay. And do you have something that you would like to say to everyone?
Yes. Hi, my name is Janet, and come to Columbia Savings and Loans so you can open a savings account. Shout out to Columbia Savings and Loans and my tutu Hope and my dad and Olivia.
All right, she said it, so you guys got to come on down and open an account.
Yeah, who could say no? Who could say no to a face like
Honorary
that?
president speaks.
Yeah. So, LATOYA, JJ is at home,
Yes.
waiting for you to come.
Bring him snacks. That's my
Yes.
13-year-old. So I want to shout out to JJ. I want to shout out to our Columbia Savings and Loan team that are still at the bank working hard today. Happy 4th of July to everybody. Again, please come on down. Please come and support the bank. We're here for the community. We're here for the people. And we appreciate everybody that's a part of the bank currently.
Okay. And if you don't mind, please give the bank contact information one more time.
Yes, we are on 2020 West Fond du Lac Avenue. We're right on the corner of North and Fond du Lac. Phone number is 414-374-0486. I'm LATOYA SYKES. You can always call if you have questions or concerns. Just call in, and I'll try my best to help you guys out.
Okay, that sounds good. And I believe our website, watch our website for some updates coming. I think it's Columbia Savings and Loan. I think it says loans. That's my detailed eye. That's a pet peeve because there is no S on the name of the word loan at the name of this bank. But anyway, we'll deal with that another time. That's me being detailed. So thank you so much. We're standing on Columbia Business. Come and see us. Thank you so much, and we'll see you again next